Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and have you heard the news? They're making a sequel about me. Yeah, that's right, Elliot 2. Now, I'm a bit sad about leaving the, existing business and all that, but I'm sure my sequel will provide you with various forms of entertainment over the next few years. Says here he's a fan of beans.
Sequels. Everything has them. It's natural when something does well for a company to try again with improvements to the overall product. Sometimes these improvements cause the product to be worse than its original and seem more like a cash grab, while sometimes the product can become as good or even better than the first one in every way. In terms of video games, there's not a lot to talk about. Sequels are usually improvements over their original versions, as the developers can improve the engine and mechanics from the previous games. They don't have to start from scratch. Crash Bandicoot 2 and Sonic 2 are both examples of when a game had a great concept which was made even better with its sequels. With both Sonic 1 and Crash 1, the developers were still working things out, while with the sequels they were starting to master the formula. Super Mario Bros. 3 is an example of what many consider to be a great game and improvement to the first Super Mario Bros. Game. For this video I tried to stick exclusively to sequels with this pesky number on the end of them, but Mario 3 is basically the sequel to Mario 1. Nintendo couldn't stop laughing throughout the release of Mario 2. Now, in terms of movies, it's a different story. The filmmaking process is very different to that of games. You can't just use the same assets and mechanics as the first time, you have to start from scratch. Many say it's a miracle that any movie is made, considering how much has to be done to make one. Because of this, movie sequels can often seem like a cash grab, and seem less like an improvement to the original film. However, some can go on to become even better than the original films. Or you could become one of the worst films ever made. Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. Many have detailed how much this film improves upon the themes of the original movie and further develops the characters. This film was definitely trying to continue the Star Wars story and create an entertaining movie in itself. In my opinion, I like both this and A New Hope, and often find it hard to decide between the two. This movie is a lot more character driven, while A New Hope follows the hero's journey storyline, which both work effectively. Another iconic film series is Back to the Future. Many consider the second to be the best of the Back to the Future series. See, no one talks about the third one. People often note the second film for its improvements on the first film's plot and stories. In my opinion, I've always preferred the first one. Its story seems more focused and interesting to me with the 50s setting. That's not to say I don't love the other two, but the first one was iconic for a reason. SpiderMan 2, not this one, or this one, the first one. Many people often claim that the second Spider-Man film improves upon the themes of the first, and is a great successor. As a lad, I always thought the third one was the best, purely because of this Burger King Spider-Man black suit toy I had. But I mean, come on young me, did you forget about this scene? Now, I agree with the many and believe Spider-Man 2 is the better film. The first one has many great moments and themes, but the second was a true successor to that film, and was so popular that superhero sequels to this day are still copying its story, even though it was kind of borrowed from Superman 2. Terminator 2 is very different to the first film in the series, which focused on the Terminator as the antagonist, while here he's one of the heroes of the story, which many people liked more. After hearing people liked it more, the company that makes them decided to copy this exact storyline for every other Terminator movie after this. I personally like Terminator 2 a lot, and agree with the many on this one. Similarly, Toy Story 2 has much higher reviews than the first, and is often viewed as being much better. While I enjoy all three of the original Toy Story films, them being my favourite childhood movies, I see Toy Story 2 as my favourite of the three, and probably my favourite animated movie. The third one comes close though. The second film expands upon the first movie and explores more complex themes, if only Toy Story 4 had been as good. Probably the most recent film to come out for this list is Avengers Endgame. There are two types of people in this world, those who view Infinity War better, and those who view Endgame as better. In my personal opinion, I agree with the side of Endgame. Infinity War was a great film, but was way too depressing and didn't live up to my expectations of an epic conclusion. Endgame is filled with action, and we get to see a lot of scenes starring everyone's favourite heroes working together, which I always think Infinity War lacked. Endgame is also a tribute to a lot of the older MCU movies, which I always miss in terms of their overall feel in the universe compared to the newer ones. And finally, The Dark Knight is one of the most widely loved comic book movies. This is mostly for the amazing Joker portrayal and excellent plot and storyline it found in the movie. Because of this, many people forget that The Dark Knight is a sequel to 2005's Batman Begins. The film is entertaining and a great superhero movie, but it's often foreshadowed by its older brother and even less cool older brother. Personally, I think I had a lot more enjoyment watching The Dark Knight, and it just seems an improvement to Begins in terms of action scenes as well as narrative.
Well, it's been nice knowing you all, but I'm sure Elliot 2 will provide great services for you all in the future. Why is he here? Send him back. Hang on, where am I? I thought I was getting a sequel. Well, that was the plan, but we let your sequel have a go at making one of your videos and... Oh great, he's continuing the family tradition already. Hello guys, today we're going to be reviewing, you guessed it, beans. Send me back. Send me back!